Hey folks, how's it going? Rush here, and welcome back to the episode of Cards and Castles TV commentary. We, of course, have some fun matches lined up for you today. Some especially due to the nature of our main event, but we'll get to that when we get to that. With that being said, though, let's go ahead and get straight into it. Match number 1 coming at you right now. Alright folks, here we are for match number 1. It is going to be Wazz taking on kiebasypower here, the blue-white versus the white-green. Let's see what both these guys bring to the table as we are going ahead and jumping right into it. English is fantastic today, it seems like already. Alright, not a bad grip here to open up for Kiebasy here, although Wazz taking the initiative, going with the wolf turn 1 play with the coin here. Interesting, because I mean normally you don't see wolf as that turn 1 option here. We do pass on the turn 2 for Kiebasy here, opting not to block with tree, which is interesting here because I mean now he can, if he wants to, put tree into the wolf here, but it would have been much better for him to get this blacksmith down on that tree previously, so that way it could probably even trade with this second wolf coming out here. We do see a lumberjack. Okay, so that's probably gonna take rage as well here. Alright here, so not often do we see blue-white being the aggro colors on commentary, but I mean, I guess so. Guess that's what we're seeing, as we do see the Forest Revolt go down, or at least I think one copy of from Kiebasy in a response. Does meet a lightning blade though from Wazz, so wasting no time, as you can see, hyper focused on this castle damage whenever he can take it. I mean, then that's how Rush likes to play. It is how they like to play here. So Kiebasy going to opt for the tunnel escape here, getting more bodies on the board, which is nice here. Putting one of those miners in a position where it could reach the wolf if he decides to do a little bit of a sneaky run back here. Do see the Beastmaster, which we know is probably going to eat execution, not this turn, but in the next. So I think we'll see the, Blacksmith come out for turn and pass. Honestly, it could have gone either way, Armory or Blacksmith, but I do think Blacksmith is the safer play in this moment here, because you do have the chance for Chain Lightning going around here. So, of course, if you put Armory, in the back here or somewhere connected, it has a high probability of facing that Lightning Blade, so we don't want to see that. But going on, continuing the matchup here, we'll see what we've got as another wolf comes out. Okay, so more beast fodder, unfortunately, for that Beastmaster takeaway. And a bear follow-up. Yeah, this is not going to be good. Now, I mean, against colors, that aren't hard removal with Mercenary, say if he was against the white-purple, this would be a fine board for Wazz going into the later stages of the game here. But because that execution, things are going to definitely change up in this match. And, of course, we are probably going to see that execution come down right on cue, taking out Beastmaster, of course, leveling the board here. Very dangerous to play Beast alongside Beastmaster. I probably would have recommended Wazz to maybe hold on to cards like Wolf and Bear until something like the execution came down. Probably was just happy to get that early aggro, or not early aggro, but more aggro on the board. Definitely getting more of those big bodies like another Bear, Wolf to maybe buff everything else around him, but you gotta be cautious of that hard removal in the Pirates here, especially if you're still off that gold. If they don't have it turn 6, let's say they don't have it turn 7 when they can actually play it. So, yeah, a bit of a unfortunate turn here as we're going to go ahead and continue on the matchup here. We'll see if we can recover. Definitely going to be hard to do so. Hunter, Bear Hog, Salahar Rider, so really just pouring out the hand here. And we know that there is a Bestial Rage, unfortunately, and I think that is going to come in quite handy here for Kiebasy, as we are going to see, yep, the Bestial Rage going to go ahead, pop into the Hunter. We could also do the hooks here, but instead going for the Arc Druid, which is fine, I guess. We do want to kind of create, I guess, a wall, even though I don't really think it's necessary at this point. Probably want to bring that out more towards like the later burn stages where you're getting very low on health here. Doesn't matter though, as Wazz tosses the Surrender out and giving Kiebasy the win. All right, and that was a match. I have to be honest, I don't really see the blue-white aggro in action too often, so definitely fun to see that back. Unfortunately, I think the biggest mistake of that game was the Beastmaster play. Well, not the Beastmaster play itself, but I think the flooding of beasts while Beastmaster was on board here. Definitely a winnable matchup for Wazz if he maybe just held off on that beast stuff a little bit, till after turn 7, because I mean I think you were still in a fine position to force Kibasi to use execution on turn 7, but then I mean after that he uses it. You could of course then follow up the wolf and the bear, and bear is a big beefy boy himself, so I definitely think that probably if we had held on to that beast, we could have seen more game and maybe even a turn of the tides, but again, hard to say. But with that, though, congrats to Kibasi for taking the win here. As we move into match number 2, let's go ahead and jump right into that match right now. Alright, folks, in match number 2, we'll see pepelodia taking on Tucker here. And I do kind of want to highlight this match in particular, at least when I first found it, because of an old memory it did bring back a bit of nostalgia here. But we'll get into that more when we get into the matchup itself here. And by the look of it here, pepelodia's got what looks to be a very classical red yellow awaken. We got golem, headwood, probably expecting to see more from that as we keep going here. We'll see a lumberjack standard trade here, I imagine, to keep going here. Yep, there it is. But this deck does have a surprise I do want to kind of show. And originally I did want to make this the title of the video, if not for the last match of the day. But I'll get to it. Because we don't honestly see it in hand yet. Anyway, Maddie coming out, yielding the win mage here. Pepelodia opting not to burn it here, which is interesting, but fine here. He does have the blue firebolt for that hovel, which is going to be very crucial. We don't deal with any rats during this game. Although, I guess red-yellow awaken can deal with rats here, with burn from Professor, probably Dragon's Fire, Flamestorm. There are options the deck has here. But there's a RedMaster Tarius from a second Maddie. Now what Pepelodia wants to see here. Now without the burn, he will go with the search? No, he has the Sentry Golem. Search is in his hand for 6 gold there, which is interesting on its own, because I don't know if this deck has any of these dragons in it to really reduce the cost here. But anyway, we do see Daggerstorm come to the board here. It does connect onto the Golem. Golem probably going to die here in the next few turns, but that is okay here. As we pop the search, we do get the combo in hand, the beautiful Detonate Arbiter play. It is apparently still kicking and alive. For those of you who may be unaware, Arbiter Detonate is an interaction that indeed works here. If you play Arbiter with Detonate on the board here, as soon as Arbiter disappears, the Detonate will consider that a lost unit and then activate. It was a combo pretty prevalent back in the day here when Enchanted Grove was first released, when we first got that card, or I think Detonate might have been printed in that. But it was very prevalent because Arbiter was a 7 gold card at the time here. So there was a nice combination in turn 10 play of Arbiter and Detonate here. So not only do you get that healing on the cast, you get the Arbiter, but you also get the Detonate Explosion, which is still relevant. I guess to today, you still get those same plays. But harder to do because you need to set the Detonate beforehand and then play the Arbiter, while also keeping all your units alive, so that way the Detonate doesn't trigger prematurely. So, we'll see if that combo is going to be shown off here in this matchup here. I hope it does, because it, of course, very big nostalgia for me. Very big hit of nostalgia. As we are going to continue with our third Maddie, yielding a second Tarius. This is not very epic for Pepelodia, unfortunately, here. I'll see if we can draw maybe Dragon's Fire. We do have Professor, so maybe hopefully get some lucky burn on that here. But, I mean, Tucker, sensing blood in the water, does walk into the Dragon's Fire, though. That is going to be an absolutely huge game turner. Unfortunately, we don't have anything else to do here. We do have Imps, but not enough gold to play them, which would have been ideal. So it does give Tucker the board again. He does go with the Thief and the Shaman. So, of course, rushing those bad boys down his Pepelodia's row here, see if we can maybe get rid of things here. We do use the Flame Cannon on the Elvish Thief. That seems fine here. And the Swordsman follow-up here, which is, I mean, Swordsman also an interesting choice for this deck in particular. Not sure why it's in here, but, I mean, Swordsman's still a very usable card, I would say. As they reach the Ranger, unfortunately, that's going to take away the Swordsman off the board here. We can put 2 Imps into it if we want to, but we will see the Headwood plus... Okay, well, 2 Imps, but not going to trade into them, which is interesting. I guess it's fine. You have the Arbiter heal. You're not worried about that. And, of course, there's a blue Fireball, like we mentioned earlier here, on one of those Headwoods, unfortunately. We do see Smith and Hovel as the follow-up plays. Going to land a huge 8 on face, but, of course, doesn't really matter because we have that Arbiters in hand. I would probably want to see the Detonate be set this turn. I'm not sure if we're going to get that, but we'll have to see. There go the Imp trades into Ranger, as expected. Do get the Detonate set, which is perfect. We want that opportunity set up now. Following up with the Golem, and probably, yeah, that's it. We don't want to risk anything else being burned or killed off by, like, Flamestorm. So good that we hold the units, and we do set the detonate up for the Arbiter in the next turn here. Meanwhile, Tucker gonna probably, yeah, he doesn't know what to do, really. He doesn't want to charge him with the Blacksmith. So he will just play Ranger. Following with the second Blacksmith, though, is pretty nasty here. But here's where we get some big value out of the Arbiter Detonate combo. Healing, and then, of course, plopping it right there does take out both Blacksmith there. The Detonate combo does activate 5 on Castle, weakening the Ranger, killing off both Blacksmith. It's just an incredible, incredible combo. And we do have a second one in hand, as you can see. They're lined up and ready to go for next turn here. And I mean, we're just getting more value. We're getting value from it. We can, of course, do another detonate set, and maybe doing some Hassan trades here, right? Or Hassan Imp trade. Maybe Hassan would. We'll see. There's one guard into the Ranger. Of course, we don't really get detonate triggering here because, of course, we're not killing off our own units doesn't really activate our own traps like that. So detonate not, unfortunately, for Tucker. Triggering here instead. I'm going to go ahead and trade out with the rat here. And, of course, putting the guard up. I guess that's fine going over Headwood because you're not really threatened as much to burn off a 1-2 than you are a 2-4. So this is probably smarter, using the imp to trade off, and, of course, using the guard as sort of additional fodder here for things like, well, Fear, which we are going to see for some more cycle from Tucker. But, yeah, this is unfortunate for him as we're going to really set up a big armory, or not arbiter play. Tucker has the armories, we have the arbiter. Which, are we going to do it here? No, we're not. Okay, we're going to probably set the, okay, dual Headwood. Alright, so we are opening ourselves up to the damage, which is fine. Again, have the Arbiter heal in hand, so if we can maybe get him to weaken himself beforehand, or like, weaken it with sudden death, pop some Headwoods on the castle, hopefully this could be a game ender here. And of course, Arcanon not going to really do what he wants him to, Tucker wants him to do here. Of course, the spell isn't really, it just doesn't work. So yeah, we're going to get some damage floating around here. Even without the Headwoods, mind you, it's still enough. We do land them anyway, which is fine, because of course, Arbiter can come down now onto the board here. We have the Detonate set, so landing in 4, and of course, poofing out for 5 more damage. Killing off that Darkbender, by the way, in the process. Which is commendable. But yeah, that, of course, is the game. Recording kind of stops here, I believe, right? Well, it's got the 2 seconds left, but I think it was just the, yep, there it is. Got to flash up the victory screen for our friend here for pulling off the Arbiter Detonate combo once again in this modern day and age. Great matchup from Pepelodia here. Great match. Despite, you know, how annoying the Arbiter Detonate combo was back, you know, 2 years ago, I think seeing it again is pretty fun, pretty nostalgic here. But also, you know, makes you think, because Red Yellow Awaken is sort of the perfect home for a combo like this. I mean, they might already be playing Arbiter as it is, so why not maybe squeak in a Detonate if you're missing some of the cards here? Maybe you don't have the Headwoods yet. Just fit in Detonate maybe in the meantime, or experiment with it. You know, I think that's it's got opportunity here to work well with Red Yellow Awaken here, so maybe we could see more of that. I'm not sure. But, I mean, still, great matchup, great fun. And, yeah, that leaves us with our main event, though. Match number 3. Let's go ahead and see what's in that match. Alright, folks, and here we are, match number 3. It's going to be our old friend Beastly taking on Decode 11546. Now, a little backstory on why this is the main event over the Detonate Arbiters here. I actually had the pleasure of viewing this match live as it happened. In one of the Discord hangouts that we do in the voice channels. And so, you know, stream sniping each other for, you know, on the ladder here, we got this match. War Party, piloted by Decode, taking on the Gremlins No Interaction build. And let me tell you, this was a fun time to view just because of how loud and weird it got. So anyway, not gonna hold you back any longer here. Let's go ahead and jump into the matchup. As I mean, if you guys have seen Beastly's No Interaction build, it's nothing new. You know, it's doing its thing here. Decode, though, in the War Party, it might have a bit of a harder time facing off against it, although realistically, if Beastly can't kill him by, you know, turn 10 by the War Party, the match should go to Decode because of, you know, the healing from Dramoth, the big bodies all coming down at one time. it should be hard for him if, you know, Decode gets a successful War Party down on the board here. So, of course, we're seeing some standard stuff. I mean, Dwarf Miner into Lumberjack here. Dwarf Miner trade to Salahar. Going to go ahead and make that connection as well here. Wizard coming out. Wizard doing his thing, which is fine. We are probably going to see that Fear. Yep, we are going to see the Fear. He does go into a Wizard of his own here. So, I mean, he's got 3 in hand. Might as well play one of them, which is fine. We'll see one Wizard get played. Following up here, Decode got the books here, and again, what War Party wants to do here, wants to draw in the earlier stages if possible, because it wants a lot of the combo pieces together. Not only do you want the War Party, but you want as many of those big bodies as possible in hand. We do see the Wizard, though, connecting with one Wizard, the Wizards connecting into each other for the Chaotic Storm attempt, unfortunately landing on all books, which Beastly was not happy about. Hearing him scream about how he couldn't land one on the Wizard, but taking away all of the flying books instead. Which, I mean, to be fair, I think that was more to his advantage than the Wizard. I mean, sure, Decode can make the Wizard trade himself here, but taking away the draw from War Party is fairly important, so I will say that he got away with something lucky. It would have been terrible if he were to got maybe 2 on books, 1 on castle. Rather than taking away all the books here. So I'm pretty sure he didn't know how maybe lucky he was with that. But anyway, I mean, he'll yell at me. He wasn't lucky with the Wizard. He wanted to get rid of the Wizard and didn't. But Decode, unfortunately, has to take the trade himself here. Has no other way to kill that Wizard other than putting it in. Follows up with another books, which is fine, giving him that draw. Probably guaranteed here, unless he wants to do something with that Incinerate. But he's going to fear that books back for some draw himself. Gonna hold on to the Incinerate. Can't use the Divine Knowledge on draw because, of course, he used that 1 extra gold onto the Fear. Decode pops his own Divine Knowledge, though, with the books draw, following up with another Wizard here. So, alright, that seems fair. BC does pull a Drain Life, though, for turn here. He does use that on the new Wizard, making his stronger here, following with the Incinerate on Decode's Wizard, and then, of course, connecting against the books there. So, of course, controlling the game board a little bit here. Wants to make sure he's got the only big range unit, I guess, on board. Although Decode's got his 3rd shiny Wizard right there. Of course, Shaman drawing maybe into that. I'm not sure. We usually basically pop the Divine Knowledge here. Does pull the bolts, make that 2 bolts, which is great. He does get rid of one of those Wizards here. He's going to follow up with the Imp. Yep. Does follow up the Imp probably right in the middle there. Yep, looking for that 3 damage on face here. So now Decode's lost all of his Wizards here. And meanwhile, by the time, I'm listening on the match here, Decode is angry that he keeps losing his Wizard, man. He can't get, maybe past a turn with these guys. He's not having a good time. And so BC, meanwhile, doing his gremlin thing, he's just having a good time with the no interaction build. Fine. Decode, tired of it. He pulls out the Craxus here. Does take the armor burn, which is good. Of course, that armor resets if he does take the Mischievous Imp burn because of the way the turn passing works. So, absorbing the Imp burn is great for him. Blue Fireball, though, does come on to the Shaman for turn. Yep, there it is. Allowing that Imp to take 3 damage to face if he wants to here, but chooses not to because obviously that's walking into a big Craxus, and you don't want to give the War Party more draw. So instead, playing out the rest of his hand here, getting books in his third Wizard out. Although it does give the opportunity for Decode to pop a War Party here. Yenneroth hitting the board, Yarm hitting the board as well, and Ragnar doing his thing, running all the way up. Yeah, and playing a T-Rex, which is fine, although a bit of a misplay on the T-Rex here, in my opinion. Well, not on the T-Rex itself, but the Ragnar aspect of it. And he even commented this himself post-match here. The Ragnar being pushed too aggressively here doesn't actually get the T-Rex sphere that he wants, so can't even get as close as he wants, and instead has to just run Ragnar up the old-fashioned way. I think it really would have been to his benefit if he were to place the Ragnar right below the Yenneroth and then get that T-Rex push, because it would have ended up farther than how he would have played it now here. So, I mean, I do agree with him here. I do think that's just a slight misplay of the movement, which might cost him in the end here. But as you see here, Yenneroth Yarm being pushed right in. Getting into the frozen units too, so this Yarm definitely going to have a lot of free reign at this point here. Flamestorm hits the board. Headless Horseman going to hit the board here. It does connect with the Yarm, which is what he wants, because of course now Yarm can be taken away. Chain damage does happen, but not as significantly as it probably would have been if the Yarm got its own choice of attack here. Going into the free Lumberjack now from the War Party, which of course is going to go ahead and pop into that. Going with the Divine Knowledge, has the gold, might as well draw for some more units here. Does pull the Kraxus. And I mean, this turn right here essentially exemplifies the Gremlin's luck with this deck that he has. Absolutely ridiculous here. I mean, you saw the Flamestorm connection into the Horseman hitting the Yarm to clear off. Then you've got the free Kraxus pull from the Lumberjack. The Lumberjack drew into the Divine Knowledge, drew into the free Kraxus. Popping into the Generoth. By the way, not killing off the Kraxus, by the way. Fearing back the Ragnar as well here to prevent any additional chain damage. Insane. Pulls the books out as well because it's free, why not? And then follows up with an additional T-Rex fearing back even further. My god, this was just insane. And he even said himself, like, I don't know how I did that, but I should not have been able to do that play. And yet it happened. Unbelievable. Unbelievable Gremlin stuff happening right now. But yeah, Decode tries to recover here. He has the L-Blade. It does connect to, I believe, the books, which does kill off both Krax and Wizard and a little bit of castle damage. So, again, no real damage done, I guess. Well, I guess damage done, but not as big damage taken for Beastly as, you know, what he was facing a turn ago here. But now, since he's got a clear board, why not play the Flamestorm here? You're going to go ahead and pop into that. Pop into a second one here, and then, of course, follows up with the Horseman as well, which, by the way, does clear off the T-Rex, and, of course, because of the chain reaction, it does kill off both the T-Rexes here. So, again, continuing his Gremlin luck ways. Absolutely incredible stuff here. And then, you've had this play. You had this play. Against no interaction, you heal the Ragnar, of all things. Now, my friends who are probably more experienced against no interaction could probably tell why. Why would you heal the Ragnar of all things when you could have healed your castle and continued to outpace, you know, just survive long enough for another war party drop? Like, the reason we got for this play was because he wanted to ensure that his Ragnar survived to go to face, which I guess in the heat of the moment it makes sense. He doesn't know that the Arbiter is in hand, unfortunately, so this is not very good for him. But yeah, we were kind of just confused by this play. He needed to play it on the castle to ensure that he would have survived longer in the matchup against Beastly. Because even with the Arbiter pop, you're still relatively close on castle health if you're healing your castle. So, and I mean, you like having that, that late game in Decode, or not in Decode, in War Party for Decode, because you get those, double draw, pulling more units. And again, like I said, you're popping another War Party, which could result in things like Dremoth, which not only healing your castle, but provide the big body, which no interaction really can't out. It really can't. So, yeah, it was just baffling to play it. And I think the collective voice channel just threw a big holy load of what the hell kind of play it was not the right move at the time for us, and we were just yelling at him for it. Anyway, healing Ragnar, funny. We do connect into the, that too. Like, if you're going to use the heal, why not do it after you connect with the Horseman? You would have still survived, but you would have gotten more value out of the heal. Like, it baffles us. It baffles us. Because I think he was at what? He was at 4 health, right? Yeah, 4 health on the beforehand. You could have easily traded into the Horseman and then followed up with the Hands of the Saint to heal it back for 9 instead of 6. So you're putting a 210, which that's big. That's big. It's no interaction can possibly out that, but it's gonna take them some time. So the Hands of the Saint play. It was not the right one. It was just not the right one, Chief, if we're being completely honest. So yeah, it goes ahead, it makes the trade here, cracks it for the follow-up. It's fine. Beast's gonna pull a second Arbiter for turn. He doesn't need it, but he gets it, and of course that's gonna land for 4 as we're approaching sudden death. Decode, he needed another heal. Arbiter, hands, anything. He can land, 7 on castle, but it's not gonna matter with a second Arbiter in hand. I mean, he could have attempted an Arbiter block, but again, he was more or less on the lines of, you know, you're probably not going to have it, but, you know, Beastly did, landing for 4, and this is the last turn for Decode. If you can't kill him off here, which, it gets better, people. At the end of the day, it gets better. So Decode going into the Divine Knowledge for draw here, pulling out the L Blade of all things, landing a 4 plus the 5 damage plus the 3 from the L Blade, and landing just enough damage from Cracks and Lumberjack to draw the match. Clean draw, by the way. Yeah, because both castles go down at the exact same time. No winner here, although, I mean, Decode does get the, I guess, funny win screen. But really, look at this sad panda. Does that look like a winning panda to you? I don't think so. I do not think so. So, yeah. Ultimately, the big ball of confusion that was the hand's play ends us up into a very, very interesting draw scenario, which, I mean, after the matchup, basically said he probably should have lost the game just by the matchup alone here. But yeah, insane how this landed in a draw. After all of that, it goes to show you that sometimes, man, matches are insane. So, with that being said, folks, that's going to do it for match number 3. Hope you guys enjoyed. Let's go ahead and move to close out this video, though, as, yeah, sad panda. Alright, folks, and with that being said, of course, we do come to the conclusion of another episode of TV Commentary. If you guys did enjoy today's match, let me know in the comment section below, as well as being sure to like the video if you did enjoy it, share it with your friends, and of course, subscribing if you're new or haven't done so already. It's the best way you can show your support here on the channel, just by clicking that subscribe button. But with that being said, that is going to do it for me for now, so until next time, guys, stay gaming.